Hi guys, so today I'm here to speak about a query that was put up on our group regarding heart rate zones. Okay, this is a very interesting topic, and once you figure out the key behind your heart rate zone, it'll be very easy to get the most out of your workouts. Now, heart rate zone is simply, to put in very simple words, the rate at which your heart beats every single minute. So most of the times it's referred to as HR or BPM, that is beats per minute, and that is what we need to keep in mind. Now, heart rate zone is basically always a percentage of your maximum heart rate. Now, first of all, it's important to understand how to calculate maximum heart rate. And maximum heart rate, to calculate that, there is a very simple formula. You just subtract your age from 220. So 220 minus your age will give you your maximum heart rate. Let's say, for example, your age is 40. So 220 minus 40 is 180. So 180 beats per minute is your maximum heart rate, which means you should never work out at 180 beats per minute. Otherwise, it may cause you some sort of an injury or some sort of harm. And it's not good for your heart as well. So now these heart rate zones are now based on this maximum heart rate. Now, zone 1 for maximum heart rate is 60 to 70%, or I would say not, 50 to 60% of your maximum heart rate. Now, 50 to 60% of your maximum heart rate is somewhere around, say, 90 to about 110 beats per minute. That's about how much you can calculate. Now this heart rate zones will differ from person to person depending upon what is your age and what is your maximum heart rate. But 50 to 60% of your maximum heart rate is zone number 1. Now in this rate, it's just general recovery that basically takes place. So if you have had a very intense workout, then after workout, there is something called as a cool down. So your heart rate during the cool down should be about 50 to 60 of your maximum heart rate. And 50 to 60% of your maximum heart rate will allow your blood flow to sort of settle down. It will allow your systems to sort of go back to normal, and that is basically called as recovery zone. Also, if you're out there to have a leisure sort of a workout, then this is the heart rate zone at which you need to operate. The second zone, which is zone 2, is basically about 60 to 70% of your maximum heart rate. Now this is usually called as the cardio zone, because this is the area where you start breathing a little harder, where you can have a conversation with somebody but you can't sing. Okay, so these are heart rate zones which are good to build up a basic amount of cardiovascular stamina, or I would say a cardiovascular foundation. Because in order to get into any sort of workouts, it's very important to have a good cardiovascular system. Your heart health should really be good in order to sustain the workout for quite some time. The third heart rate zone is zone 3, and which is about 70 to 80% of your maximum heart rate. Okay. Now 70 to 80% of your maximum heart rate develops your endurance. It also helps in order to really challenge your cardiovascular system, so that your capacity to breathe more and your capacity to of your lungs to process the oxygen more also increase multifold. So this is an exercise which really develops your stamina. It really develops the functioning of your heart, and this is the zone that you really need to target. That is 70 to 80% of your maximum heart rate. Now 70 to 80% of your maximum heart rate is also referred to as the aerobic zone, or as they call as the cardio zone, because this is a zone which really starts burning fat. The earlier two zones are for recovery. They don't really help you to burn a lot of fat. So if you keep working out in zone 1 and zone 2 for a very long period of time, you actually would not burn a lot of fat. But the more time you spend in zone 3, or between 70 to 80% of your maximum heart rate, you are going to burn serious fat, and this is going to help you in your weight loss tremendously. So that's the zone that we are referring to, which is basically the cardio zone, and which also helps you to build a little bit of endurance. And the maximum effort zone is zone 4, which is about 80 to 90% of your maximum heart rate. Now you won't be able to do a lot in this zone any which ways, because your heart is beating so fast and so close to your maximum heart rate that you are going to feel winded out, you are going to feel absolutely breathless. But you need to go and practice for a little while in this zone if you really want to improve upon your cardio performance. Now what happens is that if you are overweight, then your heart rate tends to shoot up very fast. because of your excess weight. Your heart anyways is beating a lot, and your heart rate, your heart is anyways overworked. So even if you perform a little bit of activity when you are very overweight, you tend to shoot up your heart rate. And that is why it's important to sort of keep in mind your heart rate zone, because if you constantly keep working in your in zone 3 and zone 4, then there is also going to be a lot of lactic acid buildup, and this lactic acid buildup is going to give rise to soreness the following day. So all of you all by this time must have experienced at least 1 or 2 days of soreness after you have had a challenging workout. And why was that? Is because your workout sort of pushed you into zone 3 for a long time, and sometimes even in zone 4. So these are areas where lactic acid starts building up because your muscles basically are challenged quite a lot. So while working out, you have to keep in mind and use these zones properly. So try to work out as much as possible in your cardio zone, but even to reach that zone, you will have to slowly build up yourself, you will have to slowly build up your capacity to start working out in those areas. So zone 3 is where we need to target, because that is our cardio zone, that is the zone where we are really going to burn a lot of fat. This zone is also something that is sustainable. That means you can continue a workout in an average heart rate of which is about 70 to 80% of your maximum heart rate. That sort of a heart rate is easy to sustain over a period of say 30 to maximum 45 minutes. If you go into zone 4, you won't be able to continue for more than about 7 minutes or so, because it's very intense. So that way, keeping these zones in mind will really help you to target your weight loss. And once you are in that zone, so what are the characteristics? So you can't keep wearing a heart rate monitor at all times. If you do wear, it's fantastic. If you keep a track of your heart rate, it's lovely. But if you can't, then simple indications are like you need to really breathe hard. You really feel, you don't feel tired, but you really feel that you are exerting yourself. One more indication that you are working out in your cardio zone is that you can't sing, but you can have an interspersed sort of a talk with somebody. That means if somebody asks you a question, you can shortly answer. You cannot give them a long answer, you cannot have a conversation, but you can give them a short answer. Now you are not gasping for breath, so you are not doing that, but you are really breathing very, very hard. If you are in this zone for most of your workout, I would say you are safely working in the cardio zone, and that is something that is really, really fantastic. Okay, so this was in response to the query that you had put out. I hope this video is good enough to help you understand the concepts. I will also be sharing an image along with this workout, which will help you understand these zones even better and clarify your doubts even better. Thank you so much, and keep asking us such questions so that we get an opportunity to share what we know with all of you all. Thank you so much, and eyes on the prize, guys. Thank you.